Well, thanks for coming in to the Call Flow Show. We appreciate you, stopping by, and
Absolutely.
glad to. Would you like to introduce yourself and your campaign?
Sure. My name's Jack Trammell. I live in Louisa County. I am running for the Senate 10th District in the seat that McGuire used to have.
So you are the opposing Democrat, I believe, right?
Correct.
So when did you start running?
Well, I had a previous experience in 2014 running for Congress in the 7th District, which was just north of here. And after I didn't win that race, I went back into higher education as a teacher, and that's what I'm still doing. But this late November, some people were grousing at a meeting that I was attending with a bunch of friends, and I said, people need to stop complaining and do something.
Yeah.
And they looked at me and said, well, okay, then you should be running for this open seat. And I said, well, okay, why not?
Yeah.
And they laughed because they thought I was joking.
Yeah.
And then they stopped laughing because they realized I was being serious. And so I did decide on a whim, you might say, but it also had been germinating for years because ever since I ran for Congress in 2014, I had thought, I need to try to do this again, and do it under circumstances where I have a good shot for success.
Sure.
And so literally only decided 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Wow, that's not usually recommended.
No, but as you know, Virginia has elections all the time,
Yes.
every year.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone, including these special elections, which I understand can be crazy. They're short, they're fast, and sometimes the results are unexpected.
What were some other signs of you really feeling like you should run for this, and just other than?
So it's interesting that you should ask me that because I put on my citizen hat for a moment and I think about what it's like to live in this part of Virginia.
Yeah.
And one of my grandkids' teachers left because they got $40,000 more a year to teach in Northern Virginia. And so going to the grocery store and having my grandkids try to pick out the generic brands of things because my daughter is scratching to get by. I started to pay attention to this, and part of my decision to run was based on the fact that I can see a lot of the everyday and what would it take to get them to stay or to get them to come back and start small businesses or start families. And I think there are ways to do that. And one way to do it is to make it an environment that's more friendly to entrepreneurialism and small business growth. A lot of our kids are very interested in starting their own business up. And a lot of the college students that I teach already have a small business running before they even graduate from college, and sometimes turn it into their full-time job. So that kind of dynamism I know is around in certain places. You can find it in Northern Virginia. You can find it in Richmond and Charlottesville. But that dynamism needs a push and a jump start in a rural area like our district.
Interesting. How do you reach out to the younger voter and get them to want to go out and vote? Because I know that's kind of a tough thing. A lot of young kids, I would say my age even, really don't believe in voting as a thing. So what are some ways to encourage the younger votes?
That's another tough question. I teach college students and have been in higher ed or a teacher for 30 years, and you would think I would know something about young people by now, but I am perplexed at the current generation of students at my university, for example, and at other schools I visit, who see the system as broken. And when you ask them to identify what's broken in it, sometimes they have a hard time coming up with a specific thing, like, well, inflation is too high, or the price of gas is too high, or I can't afford to get a car. Those may be issues, but there's more of a general sense that the world they're getting is not as functional as the one that their parents and grandparents got. And so part of attracting young people back to paying attention to politics, getting involved in government, getting involved in serving others, is to try to chip away at that mindset a little bit. And I believe that the way to have it more like it was when your parents had their chances and your grandparents had their chances, in order to do that, I want to challenge your own belief system a little bit and see if we can come up with a more optimistic view of the future. Because frankly, there are a lot of things we could worry about. If we wanted to be gloomy, we could have a long list of things from the environment to the threat of nuclear war and on down the list. And so I think part of what I try to do as a college professor, I would also try to do politically and in terms of elections and governance, is to encourage young people to develop a vision of how things could be better than they are. Because I certainly think many things are broken. But I think we have to have a vision in order to move beyond that initial hump of getting over the idea that, gosh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you can't fix a problem if you believe there's no fixing. You got to have that kind of positive outlook.
That's right.
And the idea of being like, hey, we can make this better. We just gotta keep working towards that goal and kind of like rolling that ball towards there.
Yes, and I'm lucky to have a job where I work around 18 to 22-year-olds and sometimes non-traditional students, but that helps keep me a little bit grounded in what people are going into when they leave the nest and they go out on their own and get a job or buy their first vehicle and so on. And so I think part of what I try to do when I talk to young people is be positive and to also help them come to the conclusion themselves that they're just about in charge. And if they aren't, they will be really soon. And, I'm not happy necessarily about the world I'm turning over to you, but let's do something about it.
Yeah, that's great. Now, what are like your main running points? Like, do you have any like main ones that you're running on? Like, obviously housing would be like one of them, and like trying to get people to stay. And
yes, and I think the economy. I had already mentioned inflation, and I have told a story about my grandson going to the grocery store with me, and we were getting Cheerios because it was a disaster that we were out of Cheerios.
Yeah, of course.
And so I reached on the top shelf, and I got the name brand Cheerios, and he said, "No, Granddad, that's not Cheerios." And he pointed down to the bottom shelf where the 99-cent Tostios were. And I realized that he's already been influenced by his mother's struggles to put groceries on the table. And she is an educated adult who should be able to sustain herself, and yet there are many people just like her and kids just like my grandkids who are struggling with that economic aspect. Even as we have pretty good overall growth in terms of the total number, the district's growing population-wise. We're getting some big business in, but there's still lots of people who are not doing as well as they should be or could be. So the economy, education, being a teacher, I think we need to find a way to keep those teachers in the district. I want those teachers to choose to stay here, and in order to do that, I think we're going to have to pay them a little more. We're going to have to put some resources into that. And then I'm also very much into the concept of rural entrepreneurialism, another E. Just within 5 miles of our house, we have a new winery. We have a wildflower farm that does pick your own, but then they sell to Lowe's. We have a fruit tree farm. We have a restaurant serving farm to table food.
Wow.
And a new meat packing house down the road, so I don't have to drive 2 hours to the valley to get my lamb slaughtered. And this is all evidence of what bringing high-speed internet into the district has done to inject some juice into the economy, but also to spark these small businesses. So I realize we're a rural district, and there are a lot of people who want to keep that flavor to it. But within that framework, we can foster small business growth, especially on the agricultural side. And so that is another priority for me.
What are your thoughts on climate change? Is that a concern of yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Okay, gotcha. Because you talk to some people and they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
as a trained sociologist, as a trained social scientist, I have taken a look at the science, and I accept the majority of what the science says about climate change. But as a small farmer, I live it.
Yeah.
We have a creek on the back boundary of our farm that in colonial days was much larger than it is now and was home to a flour mill.
Yeah.
Now it's about a foot deep and 10 feet wide and a relatively harmless-looking stream most of the times. But in the last 18 months, in the last year and a half, it has flooded over the road, which is about a 12-foot flood level, 3 times.
Wow.
And it hadn't done that once in the 20 years previous to that. Is it a coincidence that 3 times in 18 months? I don't think so.
No.
We actually, this is a terrible story, we had a sheep swept away by the flood because it got above the fence. And the sheep got too close to the water and was taken away by the waters. And so I see climate change every day just in my work at the farm, where I plant things that you're supposed to plant in the winter, and the seasons get mixed up. Right now with these 60-degree days, I have things that are budding that shouldn't for another 3 months. And so all I have to do is walk out my farmhouse door and I can see the evidence of climate change everywhere. But I'm also, as an intellectual, well aware of the scale of the problem.
Yeah.
In Norfolk, for example, we're watching how the new tunnel bridge is about 20 feet higher than the one that you drive on currently. And we're like, somebody's got it right, because they realize that if they build it at the same level, it's going to be underwater in 20 years.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. So those are definitely issues to be worried about, for sure. And well, let me ask you this. So when is the election? What day is the vote? Like, you're supposed to get your vote in by? So
that's actually, I'm glad you remembered to ask me about that. So I didn't forget to mention that. The early voting has already begun. So you can go on an ordinary non-holiday and vote early in person. Mail-in ballots are being accepted. The election day itself will be Tuesday, January 7th. So it's only a week away from... it's pretty close, 9 days away, something like that, 8 days away. But early voting has already started, and a lot of people have already cast their vote. And so it's going to be a whirlwind. These special elections are over before you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. And did you want to mention anything else before we go ahead and close out?
Just a shout out to my friends at Longwood. Yeah. I interviewed for a job there once, and I often wonder what my life would have looked like if I'd come down to Longwood. And a shout out to fans of history. The Long Bridge is one of my favorite parks to go to.
Okay.
So thanks for having me on.
All right. Yes, of course. Well, thanks for coming in, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate it. Of course. All right. That was Jack Trammell, everybody, coming in, stopping by and saying hi and kind of letting us know why he's running. So we appreciate you once again, Jack. And looks like we do have a call on the line, so we should probably get to that real fast. And we're going to say hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from my telephone.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's a real calling.
That is some real good calling. Is this Henry?
Yeah, I looked in the mirror and I thought it was me. So now I know it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I know. Once in the past, I told you about my twin friends. They own a drugstore, and they're both pharmacists.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, they're twins. And one's name is Phil, and the other one's named Refill.
Ah, that's good.
And,
Phil and Refill.
Yeah, so I think Phil is probably the oldest. Think about that.
I will. I will think about that. Oh, man.
Anyway, then there were the two little American Indian children, TP and Wigwam.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were two tents. TENSE.
Oh, TP.
They never relaxed.
Ah.
because they were two tents, teepee and wigwam.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now we got that behind us.
Yeah.
You know, one time I got in trouble just for shooting a bull, and it turned out the bull belonged to a neighbor.
Oh, that's
I
not
shouldn't
good.
have shot it. Really, I really shouldn't have shot it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a niece named Ann Simmons, and years ago she made this little comment. And it's been, golly, I reckon it's been 35, 40 years ago. She made the comment that she needed another straw. They had stopped at a Tasty Freeze or something, and gotten a milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
And so she looked at it and told the man, I'll never forget this. She told the man, she said, I need another straw because this one's got a hole in the end of it. And I just want to salute Ann Simmons for that little blurb from many years ago. I never forgot it.
That's that's a big blurb right there.
And you, of course, know about the pair of suspenders, and they got arrested for holding up a pair of pants.
Wow.
And then there was a window that was very painful because it had so much pain. And then some fellow, a lady actually, new in town, wanted to see a doctor for her young one. And she heard somebody mention the doctor's name, and she said, is he a baby doctor? And they said, no, he's full grown. I don't really think you'd want a baby doctor.
Yeah, no, baby doctor doesn't sound like.
You'd rather have one with experience.
Yeah, I'd like a doctor with a PhD. The baby might have a PhD.
Yeah. Woo! Now we're having fun. Around 1998, Joyce and Christy were, I think they went window shopping out of town. It was on a Sunday. So I went over to Shoney's to eat breakfast. And the waitress gave me the menu, and I reached for my glasses to read the menu, and I didn't have them. So about halfway through my meal, it went through me a strong desire to go to a little church next to the Farmville Armory, not knowing why.
Mm-hmm.
So I arose and went, and I walked in, and there was a small room, then a larger room, and then finally the main room. So as I'm in the empty room, I can hear the pastor, Pastor Chuck Graves. He was giving a closing prayer. And then I went in, and as I did, the pastor held up a pair of eyeglasses and said, someone found a pair of eyeglasses and brought them here to me. And I looked at them, and they were mine. So I went up and got them, and I asked him, I said, where'd they come from? He said he didn't know for sure, but he thought they were found in the little church. And I praise Jesus for that, because I had just paid over $500 for them.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
So he comes to help in many ways, doesn't he?
Yeah. That must have been a very nice pair of eyeglasses, Henry.
Well, they were nice eyeglasses, and they had the invisible line, to magnify up-close reading.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And just normal on a distance. but it was blended in so you didn't notice the difference.
Bifocal,
But
maybe?
I was so thankful, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
The Lord works in mysterious ways. Sometimes he helps you find your glasses, and it's a good day for
Yeah.
everybody.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Somebody told me one time they had lost their glasses. I said, well, let's try using paper cups.
How did that work?
How's that work? Well, pour your milk or whatever in a paper cup and drink it instead of a glass.
Oh, okay.
Because they lost their glasses.
Yeah.
And I think I better get off.
Yeah, boy.
Somebody says I think he's already a little off.
No. All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Henry. Do you want to give out your number for people that would like to reach out to you?
Yeah, it's 414-0096. And
414.
it is a 434 area number.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Love to chat with them.
All right. We look forward to hearing you in the new year.
All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Talk to you later, Henry.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. That was Henry Fulcher. We got to get into our business time, John. And you got birthdays to read, so I'm excited for that. But first up, the weather forecast. And this edition of The Weather is brought to you by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading, located at 2113 Cumberland Road in Farmville.
Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading has been helping to build Southside and Central Virginia since 1960, providing all excavation, general contracting, and hauling needs. 5 miles north of Farmville, 2113 Cumberland Road, at the intersection of 45 and Range Tavern Road. Call 392-6010 or stop by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading.
And now look at your weather forecast. Starting off with today, showers likely with a high around 62 tonight. Showers again with a low around 39 degrees. Wednesday, sunny with a high around 52 Wednesday night. Clear with a low around 27. Thursday, sunny with a high around 46. And Thursday night, increasing clouds with a low around 27 degrees in Farmville. Currently right now in Farmville, your temperature outside, it is 40 degrees with humidity at 93%, wind speed 8 miles an hour outside, and precipitation at a whopping 0% in Farmville. It's going to wrap it up for the weather. Once again, this weather forecast was brought to you by Harold W. Collins Clearing and Grading. Call 434-392-6010. That's 6010. And now time for your birthday calendar. And this edition of the Birthday Calendar is brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors, located at 1907 East 3rd Street in Farmville.
Creative Electrical Contractors specializes in commercial and industrial projects and offers quality work at competitive prices. CEC is a licensed Class A contractor in Virginia and North Carolina. Creative Electrical Contractors has been in business for 25 years, still committed to the values that were established when the company opened in 1998. Integrity, quality workmanship, and timely delivery. CEC, located at 1907 East 3rd Street, Farmville. You can contact CEC at 434-392-3802 or at creative-electrical.com.
And it's that time, the time for the... Oh, wait, hold up, John. This isn't the right music, is it?
Play them all at the same time and it might make more sense.
All right, well, the birthday calendar time is here. Yeah, this still isn't feeling right to me, you know? What if we did...
I'm surprised you went there.
Yeah, you know, I think since you're doing the birthdays, this music should be playing. John, take it away, sir.
Could you pump me up in the mix somehow? I can barely hear myself here. Hello? I guess I meant in my heads, but that's okay. Thomas Coleman Jr. on the 31st. Happy birthday to Thomas Coleman Jr. And moving along, also celebrating today, because it is December 31st. Last day of the month, last day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Frank of Farmville having a birthday today. Ray Frank of Farmville.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your 2 birthdays that I have for today on the 31st of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Last day of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Last day of the year.
Well, thank you, John. The calendar,
Yeah.
the birthday calendar, was brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors. If it's not right, John, they'll make it right. Call 434-392-2802. Well, John, happy New Year's Eve. I know you're excited to get this year over with and in the books. You're ready, you're packing up your suitcase and you're going to throw it into the street, right? You're done with this year.
Yeah.
2024 has brought a lot of joy for some people, and then not a lot of joy for a lot more people. But I don't know, John, I think you have a lot to be thankful for this year, right? I mean,
Definitely.
would you like to tell us about some of these things? If I'm
I'm good.
I like to speak for John. I'm thankful for his nephew. I don't even know his name, but
Walker.
Walker, that's right. So
And I'm thankful for Jeff the Cat.
Well, thank you, John. Yeah, I mean,
him pulling you, and I met your better half the other day.
you did meet Katie,
Yes.
which was a little weird because I usually
for her or me.
No, for me,
Oh.
because I like to keep my work life and the personal life separated. I like to have a big distance, a big gap, like the size of like a large pool. Like that's how I like to keep my work life and personal life
When
separated.
we were in the hallway.
Yeah.
She apologized for you.
Well, I did kind of hear something like that, but then I convinced myself I misheard her, and she was apologizing for you.
To me.
To you.
About you.
About you.
No, you.
I'm sorry. She was like, I'm sorry Noah has to work with you. No, I'm kidding. That's not what she said. No.
Yeah, but you were saying that to me.
Oh, if it makes you feel
It was
better,
a
John.
consoling effort.
If it makes you feel better, I was like, what did you think of John? And she was like, oh, he's nice. So there you go.
Most people do think of me that way.
Yeah, nice?
Yeah.
Well, I must just see the worst side
You do.
of you
You
then.
see the worst in me.
Yeah, well, I don't see the worst in you. You show me the worst in you.
Wow.
And then I'm just stuck with that image.
Those are under battlefield working conditions.
Battlefield working conditions. What do you
Yes.
mean by that? Is that a old term? Is that an old-timey term?
I think of it as when we're at war. Mm-hmm. Not with each other, just war in general.
Yeah, war. No, usually you grow closer in combats. That's
True.
the thing that they say. But
And we don't discuss these things in front of others like the old vets do.
Yeah.
Don't. I mean-
Yeah.
You want
They
to
have
talk
a
about
secret
some
code.
New Year's trivia?
Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want to say you're thankful for? This is a good time to get all
I'm thankful for everything.
All right.
I'm thankful for everything that's happened to me, good or bad.
John, we're going to get
It's all a
into
learning
some...
experience.
Well, life is a learning experience up until a certain point. Then you're kind of expected to be able to,
with
use the
that being
tools that you
said-
learned.
Did you know that over 50 tons of trash
No way.
are left in Times Square after New Year's celebration?
I did not
New
know
Year's
that.
Eve
That is wow.
And did you know about 3,000 pounds of that would consist of, you have a guess?
No.
Confetti.
Wow. Who knew confetti was so weighty?
3,000. Well, I guess if you drop that much of it, that. Now you do have some sort of soiree that you're going to.
Well, I'd like to mention this.
Go ahead.
In what year? This is a question to you, John. A little trivia time, and into all our callers, if you want to call in and take a jab at some of this trivia we got going on. Question is, what year did the bowl?
The bull and the ball.
They didn't lower a bowl at any point. It says, what year did the ball lowering celebration in Times Square first take place?
I don't know, but I got a feeling you'll tell me.
I'll tell you if you guess. Just take a guess.
Back in the day.
What year? You got to narrow it down. I'll give you.
Whenever Dick Clark was born.
It was before World War I.
Ah.
If that gives you any kind of indicator.
And did you know that
1907, by the way.
Thank you. The confetti dropped in Times Square holds secret messages. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
The confetti in Times Square has thousands of people's wishes written on them. In 2015, became part of the Wishfetti is what it's called. Mm-hmm. It became part of the tradition. People write their wishes for the new year and submit them to the wish wall in Times Square or online, and those wishes are turned into the confetti that falls over the crowd at midnight. So hit me up with some of your trivia.
All right. So, what was a major fear as soon as the clock struck midnight on January 1st, 2000? John, you know this one.
The clock would stop.
Yeah, it was the clock that would. Yeah, the clock would stop, and then like what other stuff went along with that whole the year 2000. What is that called?
That. Well, they thought the computers
yes.
would not understand the
2000, and then things would just go to
haywire.
Heck, yeah,
and it didn't.
No, it just kept on going.
Yeah,
all the computers,
like the bunny, Energizer bunny, it just kept going.
So,
many Brazilians welcome the new year at the beach. Is that how you would like to welcome the new year? Or do you want to be somewhere in a mob of people? You're going to do fireworks or something, right?
Yeah, I'm going to find fireworks. I'm not going to actually light them, but...
No, I meant you're going to go somewhere that they're shooting fireworks.
Correct. I'm gonna drive around until I see fireworks.
So you don't know of anything specifically?
No. But I'm a very optimistic guy, so I believe if I drive around looking for fireworks, that I will find fireworks at some point. It might be the next day. It might be a long time before I find those fireworks. But that's what I did last year. Last year I went for a walk around New Year's Eve with Katie at this park. Jeff was actually not with us.
Jeff did not partake in the festivities?
Jeff did not partake. He was a little scared of the...
Stayed home.
Yeah. We gave him little earplugs, little kitty earplugs.
And the New Year's thing on
he
TV.
watched the ball drop eating our chips. Yeah, so
that's what I would
Well,
do.
the thing is, so like we went out for a walk last New Year's, I should clarify. And it was this nice little park that I like to go to in Richmond. And we were just walking around. It was late at night. And guess what? I found the perfect bench. And as soon as we sat down, boom, fireworks started going off. And Katie was like, did you know this? She was like, is this planned? You
should have sold it like, I planned this.
And I was like, I just looked at her. Well, I didn't answer. I didn't lie or tell the truth. I was just like, what do you think? And she was like, oh. And I was like...
Hopefully she's not listening right now.
No. I mean, like, I think now she probably knows that was just... I bring luck, and good fortune with me. I don't know why or how, but...
Because you go around singing that song, Fame and Fortune?
Fame and Fortune. Yeah. Fame and Fortune. I don't know that song, Jeff.
It's on the Rudolph special that plays.
Okay, well...
We're off to seek them now. Yeah.
All right, what other kind
Rudolph and Hermie.
Wait, hold on, time out. What did you do last year's for New Year's?
I slept, I'm sure.
Did you just sleep? That's it? No fireworks? No wacky activities?
Usually not much of anything. I will tell you this, though. If you hear plates now, breaking in Denmark on New Year's Eve, consider it good luck. Mm-hmm. It's considered good luck. They hold the tradition of throwing plates at the front door of family and friends' homes to welcome good fortune of the new year. That or to cover up the fact there's a family altercation going on of some kind. Now, this is what it all leads up to here.
It all leads up to this, so.
This is number 5. ABC's New Year's Rockin' Eve show is a long-standing tradition. Unfortunately, it's now being done with Ryan Seacrest after the passing of Dick Clark. But mentioning Dick Clark, I want to mention this. Dick Clark began hosting that show back in 1974 on ABC. And in December 2004, Clark suffered a stroke, and Regis Philbin stepped in at the last minute to host. 2005, Clark officially handed hosting duties over to Mr. Wonderful Ryan Seacrest.
I
do believe we have a caller.
I believe so too, John. Okay. I'm glad we both believe that. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
No, it's this is Allie.
Oh, hey, Allie.
Hey. I couldn't get through on the landline phone. I had to use my cell phone.
Interesting. I did have the channel still on from when Henry called in, so that might have been...
That might have been
my slip up.
Okay. Anyway, I was calling about, you were discussing Love Pops at the end of the show yesterday. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Yes.
I wanted to explain to you, I know all about those.
Oh.
I sent them in cards to Chris.
Oh, so these are your Love Pops.
Yeah, it's a really neat company. You can buy cards for any occasion or just like the little things like that to send to somebody.
That's very nice. It's a nice little bit of like art to have. It's a little decorative kind of art. That's fun. I know John really likes the cupcake one.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see him. He's like Homer Simpson over here. I just see him. He's like, cupcake. No, I'm kidding.
Cupcakes aren't bad.
Cupcakes are nice.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, calorie-free cupcakes. Well, I'm
Calorie-free.
glad you explained the phone. But anyway, yeah, you must have just turned it back on or off, whatever you did. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you guys have a great day.
Well, you too, Ellie, and I hope we...
Merry New Year's to you.
Yeah, Merry New Year's. Have a great celebration.
Are you going to do anything special or just sit in or?
Going to bed regular time.
Oh, goodness.
That sounds like my kind of New Year's.
I mean, really, what's the point?
Good question. I don't know. I guess it's for young people. I don't know.
I reckon so. One time when I was younger, back before I went in the Navy, I did go watch the ball drop, and that was something I never did again.
Right.
That was a big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake. But young and dumb, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, John, you're going to make that same mistake, I believe. I think John's planning on watching the ball drop tonight.
No,
With-
I mean, I'm physically going to New York.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she
oh, my
actually
goodness.
went.
Wowee.
I picked up on that. Yeah, she went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I physically went when I was 17. It was horrible. Oh, my gosh. Horrible. Traffic, and you're packed in like a bunch of sardines.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Anyway, I'm going to let you go, and you have a great day.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Allie. That was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so you are watching the ball drop tonight, John? Are you actually
I don't
doing
think
it?
so. I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got other things going on, so I don't know exactly what I'll be doing, other than some other things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a good feeling watching the ball drop might not be one of them, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, I have another little bit of magical trivia.
Magical?
Magical trivia.
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and read that now. It
Yes.
says, you might get this, John. What 1989 classic rom-com has two main characters finally coming together on New Year's Eve? It's your favorite. I don't want to give you too many hints, but I guess I can say it's your favorite Rob Reiner film.
What's my favorite Rob Reiner film? I'm sorry, I missed it. I don't know.
Do you want me to read the question over again?
Yeah, go ahead.
What 1989 classic rom-com has two main characters finally coming together on New Year's Eve? And I was just discussing this movie with Katie the other day.
Oh, the one with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, right? When Harry Met Sally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Tom Hanks in that movie?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
I get them confused. Sorry.
I'm Billy Crystal. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry. Yeah.
You
good
ever
job.
seen that movie? You
Yeah,
act like you haven't.
No, I haven't seen it, but we're talking about watching that.
You ought to.
Yeah.
I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
It's got an interesting bit in it where they're supposed to be actual couples, but it's a movie, so obviously I would dare say they are actors.
Mm-hmm.
That they're older couples sitting together, like on a couch, small couch together, and they're reminiscing about their love and their history. It's sort of, in parts throughout the film. Because that's the whole premise of the film is these two people meet when they're younger, like college age.
It's like How I Met Your Mother, but the movie.
I guess. I never really watched that. But yeah, and then and so
It's beautiful.
it's a good film. It's okay. I don't watch it a lot, but I have watched it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, maybe you should have
Carrie
a movie.
Fisher's in it.
Oh, Carrie Fisher.
She has a bit part. She's like one of their friends that ends up with Bruno Kirby, who was in Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Also, another movie with Billy Crystal, City Slickers.
Mm-hmm. Haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen anything.
No, well, yeah, that's not true, John. I've seen Home Alone. Have you seen Home Alone?
No.
Well, John, you haven't lived.
I know what I haven't seen is most New Year's resolutions aren't taken too seriously. Like
Yeah,
I really,
of course not.
Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'd say it says nearly 80% of resolutions made at the beginning of the year are forgotten by February.
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 Mm-hmm.
That's the correct way to pronounce it. 'Cause that's the way it's spelled. February.
Yeah.
So no worries if you need to restart.
All right.
And you can thank a pope for making our New Year start on January 1st. Did you know that?
The Pope?
It says a pope.
A Pope. Well,
let's see.
well, I have this one right here,
Okay.
which you might be able to guess. I had it. The question was, how much did the New Year's Eve ball weigh? Like, what is the weight of the New Year's Eve ball that they drop? If you had to guess. Yeah, how much does the Times Square ball weigh? No, I think it's something close to what you said. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Oh, well, do you want to take a stab, John?
I'll say...
It's not that much.
It's not much, huh?
It's not. I mean, like, you wouldn't imagine probably. It's under 20,000 pounds.
Well, that's because it's mostly just consisting of different lights and stuff. It's not like this one solid object. I don't know. So, well, you kind of gave it away. So, under 2,000?
20,000.
20,000, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So, there you go. Mm-hmm. So, what is it actually?
11,875 pounds. Mm-hmm. Yep. How many people watched the Times Square ball drop around the world?
I can only imagine it's less than what it used to be, but I have no idea.
More than 1 billion people.
1 billion.
1 billion.
1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, interesting. Yeah. Okay. In Italy, what color underwear do people wear on New Year's Eve to bring good luck? And I'm wearing it right now. If you can.
Camouflage.
No. Jeez. No, it's red.
Red, huh?
Yeah, red underwear. They brings good luck. I actually, yeah, that's funny.
And why are you always running around talking about black silk underwear?
What?
Nothing.
What was that?
I don't know.
No, what did you just say? It's like
Black silk underwear.
What is that from? What are you talking about?
It's from a movie of some kind.
Well, if I don't get the reference, it's just
John
it
Claude.
comes,
Like
okay.
well, you don't
John-
watch John. Claude
Yes,
Van
I do.
Damme.
Yes.
Do you remember Double Impact where he's the twins?
Yes, I've seen Double Impact. Yeah.
And he is the tougher brother with the slick back hair kind of says, "You get your black silk underwear and get out of here."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't seen that one in a while, but
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's really good.
You really like
It's got Corey Everson in it.
Does it have Corey Everson?
Yeah, she was like a bodybuilder back in the day. She's
Yeah.
the bad girl.
Yeah. What's your favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie?
A lot of people want to go with Bloodsport, which would have
Or
been his first
Kickboxer.
one. Or Kickboxer. I don't know. I sort of like them all for different reasons. I like Lionheart. I like Double Impact.
Lionheart's good.
I like... But I guess... I don't know. I guess you could say Bloodsport, but I like different... I like some of these other movies better than Bloodsport. Bloodsport's not bad. Do you know Bloodsport actually has Ogre in it from Revenge of the Nerds?
I would believe
The big guy with the beard?
Yeah.
That's his buddy in that? That's Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
I did not know that.
With the Alpha Betas.
Yeah.
And he goes, nerds!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Were you a nerd or were you the cool guy?
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither or.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I guess we don't have to ask about you.
well,
What are you asking? What are you saying?
I was going to mention that our phone lines are open, John.
Ah.
You know, people can call in with any question or anything, really, at 434-394-0924. That's the number to call in if you want to talk to me and John over here. And we got some more trivia coming up. Also, I don't know, New Year's Eve is just a good time to think back on the past and kind of reflect over the year. And I don't know, John. I think we had a good year of Call Flow episodes. Me and you.
Really?
No, I don't.
I didn't think so.
I don't think
That's why I didn't believe you. when you said that.
No, I think we have, for the most part. Somebody should make a compilation
You're
of.
pulling some chain here.
Somebody should make a compilation of all the best moments, and it would just be you being like,
What's the
you haven't
Roman
seen the movie?
numeral XIII? What's that?
XIII. Is that
3 eyes.
3 eyes? Is that?
X and 3 eyes.
I'm gonna mess that up. Is it? It's not. Oh man!
Or you just type it in and get it.
No. Do you know? Do you have the answer over there?
Oh, I was just saying, Pope Gregory, whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
He was the one that was responsible.
Okay.
Back in I don't know, 1582 is why we celebrate like we do on January 1st.
Apparently, it's number 13.
All right.
So I was going to guess 12, so that's actually
Pope
not
Gregory the 13th then revised that calendar, and took 350 years for the world to get on board. Mm-hmm. Almost 350 years. Turkey didn't make the switch until 1927.
Interesting.
So Turkey was a little
hesitant.
And January is called January. The reason for it is actually kind of deep.
Mm.
It's been widely reported that the month was named for the Roman god Janus. And it's actually rooted in the Latin word. I don't even know how to.
I'm sure you can take a stab at it.
Ainua, something like that, which means door. The name was chosen to symbolize the opening of a new door that happens when the new year begins.
You okay?
I think so. And Baby New Year is actually really old. Did you know that? You remember that? I don't know if you know this, but in cartoons they used to represent New Year sometimes with a baby illustrating the New Year and the old man as the previous year. Have you ever seen that in any kind of in print or anything like that? Yeah,
I can't say
that used to be a thing. Well, Baby New Year has been a symbol of the holiday since 600 BC, starting in ancient Greece when an infant was paraded around in a basket in celebration to whatever the god of fertility is and wine. The baby represents a rebirth that occurs at the start of each new year. So that's been a thing for quite some time. 600 BC, that's going back a ways. Mm. The guy credited with Auld Lang Syne, however you want to say it, didn't fully write it. He must have had a co-writer. Mm. Robert Burns took a Scottish folk song called Auld Lang Syne and put his own spin on it in 1788, which is the version we all know today. Mm. Auld Lang Syne means times long past. And there you go.
Auld Lang Syne. I'm going to change it to Auld Lang Syne.
So people were ripping off other people way back when.
Yeah.
It's nothing new under the sun.
John, since we only have a few minutes to spare here, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of talk about ways people can celebrate the new year and bringing in the new year.
Perfect.
So we're going to start off with the number one best way, and that is drink your wishes away. By champagne. Yes. Oh, he's opening up a Coke bottle to pretend it's alcohol.
We're gonna wish it away.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Well, John, for somebody who doesn't,
Congratulations.
for somebody who doesn't drink, you do an awful good impression of an old timey drunk.
Well, I've been watching a lot of TV in my time, and from the stork that would deliver in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, usually was inebriated in some way, to whatever else I would watch, Foster Brooks or whoever.
Hey, let me ask you. Do you like pomegranates?
They're okay, I guess.
Well, you can smash them to celebrate New Year's Eve. It says, take a cue from Turkey and smash a pomegranate outside your front door to bring you good luck during the upcoming year. The ruby red fruit is seen as a symbol of abundance, health, and prosperity. And that will be fun to clean. You can also, John, write a letter to yourself for New Year's Eve, or the next year, I should say.
Dear John.
Dear John. Yes.
Get well soon.
Can I?
Okay.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Would that be the entire letter?
Yeah, that would be the bulk of it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It says, this New Year's Eve tradition is an everlasting gift. It involves reflecting on your past year, setting goals and intentions for the future, capturing your thoughts and feelings in a personal letter to be opened on the next year day. Your future self will thank you. John, your future self will thank you if you're right.
Dear Noah, get well
soon.
There you go.
All right. You can jump 7 waves.
Waves?
Like ocean waves?
Yeah.
In Brazil, John. Yeah, I know you love Brazil. It's considered good luck to start the new year by jumping over 7 waves. You get 1 wish for each wave. So get ready to wish. Get ready with your list for 2025. So you can hop over some waves. That might be fun for you. And I think that's about it. So we have 19 seconds. John, the final call flow of the year, 2024. We're going to be signing it off now. Do you have any parting words until next year, John? Anything, John? Come on.
We'll see you next year.
No, come on, John. Seriously, this is a big deal. We still have some time. We have 2 seconds left.
I'm good.
All right. Well, guys, that's been Call Flow show for December 31st, the final day of the year. We'll catch you later. Bye.
WFLO AM 870 Farmville.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packard.